Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Fandom Face-Off. We've
Yes,
got two more niche groups this week.
we have. Very
Disney
niche.
adults versus Snyder Cultists.
And we've already been flamed and attacked by them by just mentioning the name.
I will look forward to getting my death threat in the mail. Right.
Jeez.
As always, we have got 6 very helpful categories. We are
We
the
do.
master of 6 categories. These
We are.
6 categories are size, dedication, toxicity, infighting, weirdness, preference.
Mm,
Now that everyone's
yes.
caught up on this very, very simple concept, size.
I mean, I feel like
Disney
Disney adults are huge.
They're everywhere. You will see the most normal seeming person ever. You'll go round to their house and there's just an entire room of Disney stuff. It's chaos. They're
Yeah, no.
everywhere. They're in the walls.
I mean, Disney adults are. There's a reason some of the Disney stuff is so expensive because they know, only adults have this kind of money.
Disney realized that they have as many adult fans as kid fans, and they're like, okay, cool. Now we need to release adult only stuff, and not the fun kind of adult only stuff, that adult only price point stuff.
But yeah, like Disney adults, Disney itself is huge, so obviously,
Yeah.
therefore, there is just as many Disney adults out there.
Just absolute chaos over there. While the Snyder Cultists are loud, I just don't think there's enough of them. I think
No,
non-chronically online people wouldn't even know that Snyder Cultists are really a thing. God bless their soul.
oh yeah, I think because they're so loud on like Twitter, we know of them, and like social media somewhat knows of them, at least in the space that we're in. Outside of that, they're not known at all.
Dedication. Only one of them are being referred to as cultists.
That's true, though. I mean, you could say Disney adults are cultists. Some of them.
I think they're very dedicated. I think they're a very large fan base. I don't think they're so unhinged in the way that Schneider Cult. Like, I don't even think the Schneider Cult is like 2% the size of the Disney adults. Yeah, I feel like I see more from the Schneider Cultists than Disney adults.
Yeah, and I mean, they are like anything he says or does, they're like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing in the world. Yeah. Whereas, like, I feel like Disney adults still will question some decisions from Disney.
Exactly that. So dedication, I'd be more inclined to lean towards the cultists. Toxicity, I don't even think this one's close. The Schneider cultists are terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, it comes with their dedication, but like they are so toxic towards anything that isn't done by Zack Snyder.
Yeah, and like it's just their behavior is abhorrent at times.
Yes.
And the way they've treated people working on projects that they view as replacing some of Schneider's work is unhinged. I don't know how anyone could act the way they do at times. It makes no sense to me in the slightest. I don't think I like anything enough to be as toxic as they are at times.
Yeah, and I mean, they hold him to such a high regard. It's like if you even attempt to question anything,
yeah,
it's not that they don't come at you with like, no, we disagree. It's like, no, you are so fucking wrong. Like,
yeah.
and it's like, okay, there is no discourse with them. There is just get shouted at by them.
Yeah, exactly that. Right. Next up. Oh, I mean the Disney toxicity. I don't think it's bad. Disney adults. There
I
are
wouldn't say
certain
they're
brands
toxic.
that
They're
Disney
just
own that are toxic, but I don't think Disney
yeah.
adults themselves are toxic.
No,
They're
they're
pretty
just
chill.
essentially giant kids.
Yeah. I mean, when we get onto weirdness, we might have a bit more to say, but I don't think they're toxic.
No, I wouldn't say they're toxic at all.
Infighting. I'm gonna go out and say it. I think these are the two fandoms with the least infighting.
Yeah, I was gonna say like if I was going to guess anyone, it maybe would be Disney. Like
But
some
what's
Disney
more or less?
adults being like, "Oh, they shouldn't have done this version of this."
I feel like the level of Disney adult infighting is no, Cinderella's better than Dumbo. Like,
Or it'd be like, "No, the original Lion King is better than this dumb new live action Lion King."
yeah, I just feel like I've never seen any kind of debate from
No,
that side. The
where
most I've really seen in the Snyder cult is people arguing over who should buy the Snyderverse.
yeah.
Some people are like, no, Warner Bros. Should be forced to release it. No, they should just sell it to Netflix. No, he should do it all himself so he becomes a mega billionaire and then I can have all his babies despite the fact I'm a man. It's weird. They're so weirdly obsessed
But yeah,
with him.
I'd say you're right though with the fact that they both have like the smallest amount of infighting.
Yeah, they're just so
They're too
despite
dedicated to the cause.
despite being two ends of a lot of these spectrums, they both just don't want to fight each other. I mean, to be fair, I don't think Disney adults really fight anyone. Whereas Snyder Cultists are all fighting one unit. Weirdness.
Mm,
They're both very weird, but in very different ways.
agreed. Yep.
Disney adults are adults just trying to live their life that adore Disney. And then for some reason, when it comes to Disney stuff, they turn into a 6-year-old again. And I'm not going to sit here and say you can't enjoy stuff that is more naturally geared towards children, because that would make us the biggest hypocrites ever.
Yep.
I don't understand why you have to act like you're still a child while you're enjoying it. That's what confuses me.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't know. It's just a little bit too far at times.
Yes. Whereas the Schneider Cultists are just weird because they, send death threats and that ilk of weirdness.
Yeah, and the fact that they would probably quite happily do many things to Zack Snyder himself.
Yeah. They're just, again, to enter the spectrum, Disney adults I don't think are as weird as Schneider, because there are a lot of people who enjoy Disney as adults that aren't actually weird about it. I feel like just, once again, it's one of the things where when you get such a large fandom size, you're going to have a couple of people who are just unhinged.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're the Disney adults to get the airtime. Because for the most part, Disney adults are actually pretty low-key.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because of the size of it, there's just like, they stand out more. Because there's a few more of them than you would expect.
There will be Schneider Cultists who have a room full of just Zack Snyder memorabilia. But because no one gives a fuck about Schneider Cultists, that doesn't get any public knowledge. Whereas the BBC will run an article every year about some Disney fan who's got an entire room covered in Tinkerbell stuff.
Yeah, you got a good point.
Yeah. Preference.
I think this is easy.
Easiest one by a mile. I would rather only ever be able to talk to Disney adults again over Schneider Cultists. Disney
100%.
adults, while they're weird, they are pretty chill. And I guarantee you probably know a Disney adult. You don't even realize it's a Disney adult because the large majority of them are so chill about it that I guarantee you know one that you don't realize is a part of it. I've never met a Schneider Cultist in person, and I hope to keep it that way.
I agree. I hope I don't. The nearest I've got to them is seeing them on the internet.
Yeah, and even then I could smell them. Right, shall we tally up the scores here?
Yes, I think we should.
Okay, size goes to Disney.
Agreed.
Dedication goes to Snyder.
Agreed.
Toxicity, Disney less toxic, so 2-1
Yep.
Disney.
Yep.
Infighting, I think that's got to be called a draw. I don't think there's really any infighting on either sides.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So still 2-1 to Disney. Weirdness, Schneider fans are way weirder.
Yeah, with some
and
of the
even
stuff
if
they
you
do.
say like the weirdness, the amount of weirdness is equal, the kind of weirdness is worse for Schneider fans.
Yeah.
So 3-1 Disney, and then preference 4-1 Disney. Unlucky Snyder Cultists, once again, you do not get what you want. Leave everyone alone, you sociopaths.
Yeah, I mean, they were always going to lose. They are the worst.
So next week, we have the Whovians,
Ooh.
Doctor Who fans. Maybe I'll spill a bit of tea of my earlier eras before I was on the internet.
Oh, shit.
Versus the Film Bros. Film Bros are in shambles at the minute because they've just lost Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan's outed himself as a casual.
They're imploding because they have no leader.
Their Jesus has disowned them. They don't know what the fuck's going on. It's great. But that is it for this week's Fandom Face-Off. Thank you so much for hanging out. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And we will catch you next week.
Yeah, let us know if you agree or disagree with us. We'll catch you next week.